But let's talk about this for a second. D's, I's, S, or C's. Oh, you got it, good. I want you to think about it in this quadrant for a second, because this is critical to how we go about our business. Real quick, if you're a high D, right? Let's first start by labeling you for a second, right? A high D. Let's go to the extreme. Let's prejudge people, which we're not supposed to do. But let's just stereotype a high D personality for a second. How do you know? Because this is important. Because how do you recognize a high D that's walking into the model when you're there, or how do you recognize a high D that's walking into your open house? Right. This is key importance. Because what are they going to typically drive? Let's stereotype them. What does a high D personality drive when they're pulling in? A black Escalade type of thing. Okay, right? So why? Why do they buy that? Why do they buy that car, and why do they drive that car?
Powerful.
Okay, because it shows something to them as that. Okay, what are they wearing typically when they come in? A business clothes, suit and jacket, something a little bit nice. What kind of? Do they have jewelry? What kind of jewelry? Right, big bright gold Rolexes with a black Escalade, right? Perfect example, but this is kind of what you have to start recognizing when you come in to the thing. Because if he's walking into you, or let's say you're driving into a house for a listing presentation and you see the car in the driveway, that's your first step in sales, guys, right? If you're knocking on a door and there's a black Escalade in the front, right, your sales pitch is going to be different than it's a powder blue puff Volkswagen Beetle with a freaking rose sticking out of the little cup holder, right? It's a whole different presentation, whole different person, and they're not going to appreciate the same presentation. So you've got to understand, if you're a high D, accept and appreciate who you are, but you're going to automatically piss off most of the people that are not high Ds because of the way that you are. Not that it's wrong, it's just different.
But you're in sales, and the customer's not going to change to adapt to you. So you have to become the chameleonaire?
Chameleonaire.
Something else I want to say before we get past this. Write these 4 words down. Awareness gives you flexibility. Flexibility gives you options, and options give you power. So that ties right into this.
That's right.
If you're aware that your customer is what they are, then you have options on how to make them feel comfortable, because that's your job.
Now, if you're just going to do a deal with your cousin Betty, she already likes you. You don't need sales. Just be fine making 12 grand a year and don't bitch about it if you're not making any more, right? But if you want to actually build a business and start connecting with people you don't know, you need sales skills, right? Now, let's understand, your biggest nemesis in the world as a high D is a high S, because they don't like you, you don't like them, by tribal natures when you were born, right? You're just completely wired differently. You were raised completely differently. Your family tribes are completely differently, and they're both perfect. They just don't get along. Same thing with a high I, right? The person who does not like you most is a high C, because they want data and facts, and you don't even live in that realm of data or facts, and you hate data and facts, and you don't want to supply it because it's not going to be comfortable. So you're going to blow a deal with them. They're going to blow a deal with them. These guys are going to get aggravated with a high C, because the C is going to want data, and he's going to say, screw it, make a damn decision, you idiot. He's going to say, how mean you are, and run away. So most people don't think about it, because they don't walk into a presentation and say, okay, I'm a high D. I have to calm it down. I've got to go into neutral. I've got to chill out. I've got a really sweet person here. Act sweet, okay? That's what a D has to do. And a high C has to say, okay, I'm a total crazy freak analytical. I'm going to deal with a high I personality. They're not going to want any of my stats or data. They're going to want to have fun. I don't like having fun. This is going to suck. Okay, let's pretend I'm going to have some fun. Okay? That's what you have to do if you want to be a salesperson, and if you want to make the other person feel comfortable, because people like people who are like themselves, right? That's it.
You want to know a secret? People don't call you back when they don't like you, right? It's not, that's it. That's their easy escape route. So when you think you did your best presentation ever, you meet the customer and you loved them and they're a really good prospect, and they go ghosting on you, they didn't connect with you.
Yep.
Because your I didn't go with their S or their C, or their D didn't match with your S, or vice versa. And they won't confront you over it, they just won't return your calls.
Attract, repel, right? You're either doing it unconsciously, or you're going to start doing it consciously. And if you're going to work here, we're going to do it consciously, because we make money when you make money, and we do like making money, right? So we're going to be able to put you in a position to win most often. Does this make sense? right? So that's really important. So the high D, we kind of totally stereotyped. What kind of car does a high C drive? Prius or Camry, both. What color? Beige or gray. Why do they buy those cars? Or white? Because they were 5-star crash rated and they get the highest miles per gallon and they were the best in Consumer Reports, duh, right? It just made sense. That's what we buy, the highest insurance rate and the lowest insurance rates. It just makes sense. And they in fact did some more research to show that cops pull those over less frequently. That's why they bought it. Right? What do they wear when they come into their open house? What's a high C personality wear when they're walking into the model center? Khakis and a little button
Pocket
down.
protector.
Right? There you go. Why? Where did it come from? Steinmart, right? Or Nordstrom Rack, because it made sense, right? Nothing wrong with this. Is they're all perfect. I just want you to become aware of who you're dealing with when you're dealing with it. High I. What does a high I personality drive when they're cruising into your open house?
A super fun car.
A bright yellow convertible, anything, okay? And what kind of clothes are they wearing? Shorts, flashy, bright, colorful, loud. What do they want you to do? They want you to say, I like your shirt, because all they want is an invitation to talk. Talk, 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 talk. So your high I just is doing something or wearing something or driving something or mentioning something to make sure that you talk to them, because all they want to do is talk, right? So if you're a non-talky person and you see the bright yellow convertible Mustang and the girl in the Lily Pulitzer shit jumps out of it, you're in deep trouble, all right? You better just totally gauge your whole presentation differently from what's about to walk out to you. And then your high S personality, what do they wear? Something sweet, right? Unoffensive, nice,
A bow tie.
right? They do not want you to talk with them. They do not want the conversation. They just want to kind of blend in. And in fact, they probably stand in the mirror and say, this will cause nobody to say anything to me today, and I like it. And they're going to go through the day, and they don't really want to deal with anybody.
I'm not going to offend anybody.
I'm not going to offend anybody along the way. So now here you are, poof, in the middle of the world with the way that you are, and you have been pissing people off unknowingly, and you've been connecting with people unknowingly, and that's just the way life works. So when you first went to kindergarten and you walked into your classroom, right, way back when, you walked into the room scared to death because it was something new. And so when you're scared to death, you start looking around, and what do you think you did subconsciously when you walked into kindergarten for the first time or first grade? Scan the room, scared to death, wondering who was about to kill you, right? And then you found something that was most opposite to you or most similar to you? Most similar to you. Why?
Something familiar.
Familiar, because people like people who are like themselves, because that is the closest thing to you. So you gravitated towards the person that looked most like you, that was most like, and that became your what?
Best friend.
Best friend. Isn't that funny how it worked? So those are the people you connect with. Now your group of friends are your group of friends because you guys are pretty the same. I bet you have friends that you all have your own language. You've got words that only make sense to you guys. You have looks that only make sense to you guys, and you have your own little world, right? True story? That's why they're your friends. So people like people who are like themselves, right? So when you get conscious about this one, why is sales any different? It's not. People go into a sales situation completely armed and ready to get screwed. True story? No matter what you're buying, I gotta talk to a salesperson. Let me mentally prepare for this experience. It's gonna suck. They're gonna screw me over, and they're salespeople trying to get money out of me. And they walk into total resistance into any sales situation, and they're like, okay, I'm taking it, right? That's not really cool. Rather, I want them to have you be in a position where you're like, I respect you, I get you, I understand you, and I'm gonna give you the coolest experience you've ever had in your life without you having to say a word. Is that better? Right? And that starts with you becoming aware and conscious about who you are. And if you know you're a high D, embrace it and love it, but realize you're gonna have to tone it down sometimes. If you're a high I, embrace it and love it, and know you're gonna have to dial it up or down sometimes. That's what we're talking about. So that's the first step, is awareness. And if you don't understand this part, this is the fundamental part of awareness that changes everything, personal and business. These guys live in a certain camp, these guys live in a certain camp. D's and I's are in go faster mode. Okay, so you've got to think about this too. Whether you're selling a new house or a listing presentation or a buyer house, they don't want a bunch of data, right? Task and data are over here. People and feelings are over there. I's and S's go on their gut feelings with people and instincts. D's and C's make their decisions on task and data. So the conflict comes if you're a high I and you're dealing with a high C, you're trying to sell from people and feelings, and they're like, you are from another planet, dude. Where is my spreadsheet showing that this price per square foot makes sense? And you're like, dude, wait till you see the parties in the clubhouse. It's so much fun, right? And then they ghost on you and they're done. So that's the whole point. That's what's going on. These guys here, let's go, right? Let me sign the contract. And down here, they're like, well, before you sign this contract, let me go through the entire strategic pricing analysis with you and go through every price per square foot and the last 6 years of data. And they're like, dude, where's the contract? You're like, no, not yet, right? And they're gonna kick you out. This is what happens. So you gotta figure task, feelings, faster, slower. And you are, as you just learned, one of these. And you are primarily there, and you're gonna have to adjust. So I want you to see, what are you most of the time? And embrace it and be aware of it and know which way you're gonna have to dial it up or down when dealing with other people, okay? So we'll do
And
some.
for fun, you are a 16I. So she has to change a lot to adjust down to deal with a high C.
Or
Right.
she has to totally embrace her I-ness and
say,
just
"I'm not
promote the
dealing with
fact that
C's."
I am an I to everybody in the world so she attracts only I's. That's a strategy because it will not be fun for her to deal with a 16C listing age client, right? She can do it, but you will cry nightly, right? Because it's gonna suck. So she can push that aside and just be self-aware enough.
No, you can know
to
somebody
know.
else in our company that's a 16C and say, I've got a gift for you.
You could do
I'm
that.
gonna refer this analytical client to you so you can handle the analytics and you give me the I ones that drive you crazy, Mr. C, right? So there's ways to get around all this.